Yeah, Prof here, and we're just cleaning up. Because you're interested in some more pliers. Picked up the new Icon Snap-on Talon Grip clones. Like I said, I would have preferred this is a 9-inch variant based on their 8-inch slip joint, their 3-position slip joint. I would have preferred like a 7 out of the gate, and a lot of other people said they would like to see that as well. Check out the video for my commentary in there and showing off some other tools that I personally still use and have used in the past. This is what's coming up next. You probably do not recognize that packaging. Right, I mean, you probably recognize the packaging. But what you don't recognize or won't know is who is this from. It has been a hot minute since I've gotten something from these guys here. Now what we're gonna use is we're gonna use my little yellow Tuck XL. It was apparently this week I came home from work very tired. Had an interview for a lead position. We'll see how that goes. I'm supposed to know by end of the month, possibly beginning of the following. And just gas because I had to be there a bit earlier that day. Just that took a lot out of me. Interview, you got to be up, put your energy up a little bit, stuff like that. It didn't sleep well, etc. Well, when I got home, apparently I just took the pants off and threw them in the wash, and I was apparently lucky enough to remember to take the pens out of my pocket. I was not lucky enough to take out the this is my everyday carry Tuck XL in the yellow, since yellow is my color, with the yellow clip. You can see it's definitely got wear because I put it in my front, like your little coin pocket or like pocket watch pocket or AirPods pocket, as Linus may call it. And I forgot to take it out of there. And my mom was worried she had wrecked it because she did the wash and found it in there. Nah. Actually, if anything, this thing's cleaner. What did happen, though, is the blade rusted. So we're going to flip it over for now, because it's mostly this tip forward that is rusted. This backside hasn't, but it will need to be at least a new blade. I may also just pop it open and give her a little clean out with alcohol or a tub of towel or something like that on the inside, because this is galling up, see, quite a bit. Whereas something like my orange one, that's how it should work. And I use this thing daily. Like I said, it's my everyday carry. So I'm sure it's, because it's aluminum, it won't get hurt in the if anything, like I said, when it's happened before, it's come out cleaner. Definitely requires a new blade, though. Jesus. This knife doesn't want to cut, and the cardboard is fighting me, that's for sure. Yeah, it doesn't want to do its thing, so I'm gonna have to, at a minimum, swap that blade. If not, you just take it apart with screws on the back. Nothing too crazy. Get out your, not even, you can use your LTT screwdriver. Actually uses they have the correct size hex. It will go even into this little small guy that's in there. It works quite well. Otherwise, go watch my 3-hour dissertation on the LTT precision screwdriver bit set, specifically because I already had the screwdriver. We did dip back to the screwdriver though, because I have many friends that have that set, though. I will probably have to personalize it in some way. I was thinking I mean, you know, we have the black screwdriver. None of them have that to my knowledge. We're kind of good there. What I might do though, and I've thought about it, not on my black on black LTT here, but on this guy, because it is just the classic, is just fill in the LTT logo with some yellow paint, kind of like, here you go, like on my battery right there, where I label everything with the yellow paint marker. Just fill in the LTT logo here with yellow. Do something on the back so I can see that it is mine, or on the side right there, since, you know, normally I put my pro tip: if you don't want people to know your phone number, don't put it on your tools. Put your email on there, because that's much less worse it gets out. For those wondering, we are already up to March 11th on the amount of videos that I have made. Now, what that means to you as for when this video will come out, good question. I'm smiling behind the camera, by the way. That's why I'm giving you a thumbs up. So this is a nice, thick, bubbly wrap packet. Nice, thick guy. Just came in a standard priority mail flat rate from... Oh, here, I can give you a hint as to who this is. Came from Hawaii. Throw it down in the comments. Who is this? Where did this come in from? Which there are only so many places I buy pens from. You know, and this is one of the more classic ones. This is an OG that goes way back to my second, I think, ever machine pen. So take that for what it is. There's my packing slip. You guys don't need to see that bit. Ti2 Design. Their packaging still says Ti2design.com. It is not Ti2design.com anymore. I think it's like Ti2 Design Shop or something. Ti2. It's Ti2 Design-design.com. .myshopify.com. Looks like he lost his direct domain, or just doesn't want to maintain it anymore and is just letting Shopify do the dirty. Do the dirty, that sounds wrong. Do the dirty business of hosting. There you go, that's better. Let me grab some, for example here. We got to go quite a few cross cubes back to find one. All right, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cubes backwards to find one. Is this a copper? It's a copper. Nice. All right. So we've got a couple options here for comparison. And yes, they're pushing each other back and forth because they have magnets in them. Ooh, magnets, look at that, attracted. Now this is my second Ti2 pen, my first TechLiner. The other original one just called the Ti2 pen. That was a Kickstarter back in the Hi-Tec-C era, after the pen type A was being made and pushed. This Ti2 TechLiner was actually the first. This is the pen. This is the TechLiner, Ti2 Design TechLiner, not the Ti2 pen, because Ti2 pen was the original non-clicky Hi-Tec-C. I grabbed this one though because this is my original. That's why it looks beat up. It has the FallOut finish on it. This is the pen that got me into Uniball. This is the pen that I did all of my testing on, and as you can see, it doesn't even have a Uniball refill in it. It has, I think this is a Sakura jelly roll. In there. And this is actually longer. The original TechLiners were designed to be the same length as the original Ti2 pen, which is this longer design. If you notice, like this part goes all the way up here. But yeah, this is the pen that got me interested in, I guess it'd be Euro, I call them Uniball refills, Uniball compatible refills, Euro 110 size refills. This is the new, they call a shorty, which is now realistically the standard size. I don't know that he's made a standard size Ti2 TechLiner in years. I used to be part of his pen club. This pen is part of the pen club. David and basically every month you'd get one. A lot of them I kept, and then the other ones I just gave David a crack at. Like, I'd be like, hey, if this month is one you want, have at it, you know. And then I don't know, I was probably in there for a better part of a year. This also does not have, this has a Energel, I believe, based on the needlepoint tip. This one I grabbed because it's unique, because it is a blackened copper finish. Very unique. Yeah, this is running a Pentel Energel 0.5. It's almost out. You can see I used to write way more, because this would have been back in the Geek Squad era, where I was heavily doing, because all the notes back then were done on paper. So you just blast through refills, and you'd want something quite precise because you're writing all these little things in. Now, I would usually carry one precise pen on me, and 1 to 2 imprecise ones. Usually the ones that had the Rollerball. My brain is farting, and I have none over here at the moment. The Schmidt Capless P0 whatever 6, the one that did my EDK and my original slider from Tactile Turn. That's pre-Bolt V2, or not Bolt V2 from them, like Bolt Action Pen redesigned. We're using those. But yeah, this pen here, I've been with these guys for a long time. I was part of their original Kickstarter, and like they disappeared for years. It felt like. He did plenty of things. He's a very, very, very skilled machinist. Yeah, so I grabbed these out, for example. This one is the second. It has the fluted here, the fluted grips on the Ultim. We can zoom in here. So this one's got like the fluted Ultim with the blue clip. I also had the original just standard grid. They calls this like the grid one, or I think Karas would call it the frag grip, but he calls it the grid one. I have the original grid Ultim variant of the TechLiner as well. It didn't come with a clip. I happen to have an extra clip, and I put it on there. As you can see, the second version of this came with this nice accented blue clip, so I guess he found that a lot of people, I did post about mine, people were interested in it, must have been that the second gen, or the second version of the Ultim, like I said, he shipped with a clip, so enough people must have either done that or requested it after I posted doing it myself. This has a straight up juice, not a juice up, a juice. That is because the later versions of the TechLiner, despite being designed for the Uniball refill, that was like the whole point of going from the Ti2 pen to the Ti2 TechLiner, right? Was to fit and work with and have this, like, they can do this because of, and like you can get really close to rulers and stuff like that, was because of the Uniball refill. Well, Hawaii, however, is still part of the USA. So what are all the new TechLiners compatible with? Of course, G2 ink. And I was part of there because I was part of the pen club, and I was actually testing some stuff for them. there was a transition period of doing the Uniball or Euro 110 compatible like this guy is right here. You know, this is a black and copper with, you can see divots there, right? I think it's got the same black and copper clip. It was a really unique one. That's why David has one that is like literally, it was mirror finish. It isn't anymore because he carried it in his pocket, had no clip. I mean, if you can see the seam right there, if I don't hit the light, you don't even see the seam. The one he had was even more seamless. I don't even remember if it had a grip here. So it was almost like just like a bar. Just mirror finish. Beautiful looking pen, and I knew he'd be interested in it. He also picked up a Digi Camo one off of me. It's kind of like this. I think it's just a standard titanium one. Might be Cerakoted. It looked really cool at the time too, and I ran it, showed it to him. I think I ran it for one day because he wasn't in until the next day or something. And he saw it. He's like, "That one is awesome." And I'm like, "Well, it's from the monthly one." You know, I have a lot of these because they're coming in monthly. You know, it's available if you want it, sort of thing. You know, kind of like when I got in my original G10 pens, and he was interested in the OD Green when I wasn't. I was interested in the... Oh, this is so much lighter. It's ridiculously light. Okay, Ti2 design. Why is there Ti2 in there? Titanium. So that is why this one is so dang stupid light, is because instead of being the wacky one that I grabbed, which is this copper behemoth, I also have stainless steel ones as well. I have these bolt liner, where if you don't want the cap, I'm not a huge fan of the bolt liner. Squares does like it. I do have it in both original plain titanium and stainless. I later got it in. Squares got his bolt liner in this FallOut finish, which is, this is titanium, and that is a brass clip on this one. I just thought it fit the finish of the... There's kind of like a gold tinge under that, like kind of like purpley blue, and the purpley blue wears off like an iridescent, and like silver comes out from underneath. So I thought it fit very well. When I bought it though, I didn't know which one I would like, so I actually got a just standard clip with it, and that's actually what went on the original one of the Ultims many years later, because that gap in time is massive. Because this is my most recent, except for this guy, which is Paisley. Yep, this one is called Paisley, like this kitten right here, Paisley Marine. Yeah, you had just moved. Now you're not going to acknowledge my existence. Paisley Marine. All right, but there you go. Paisley is what this finish is. I saw this in actually, there's a previous video where Squares is there, and we are opening up the most recent Ultim modal, Hex modal, and I showed this off on the screen. I had kept the email in my inbox better part of a week. It had to be ordered by the 31st of January, and I was like and then he saw it and he's like, dude, you gotta get that. And it's like iridescent somehow. It's hard to show. They did a very good job of showing it in their pictures. Hopefully I'm doing an all right way of showing it with this. That is due to the finish and the fact that this is all laser engraved. Normally he would do this sort of stuff with milling, right? So all this stuff was done via milling. And I actually have some more advanced versions of this, like with some fancier milling. And I have a baby. There you go. That is a brass one, but the mini. Not a huge fan of the mini, which is why this guy, to this day, this is one from the monthly, or the Pen Club one, that both Squeers and I, neither of us wanted this sort of baby blue mini Ti2 design. So if any of you are interested in that, hit me up. It's not bad. It's just always not actually right here, but it's been in here before, but I finally just pulled it out. I've never used it. It still has the original G2 mini cartridge. Another one that I have in my collection is this triangle one, where he did this like differential milling to put flats on it. The cap is like that as well. You can see that. And so is the grip. Prior to, and apparently I looked, he does have some more that are done via laser. Here is the standard frag grip in stainless. This thing is beefy, indestructible, heavy as well. And you can kind of see number 2 here. If we count this guy, Keros is number 1. Squeers actually has mine. I gave him my original. This is a bar stock one, so it's like not finished at all. He has my original Render K. So technically, this might be number 3 because it went pen type A, which is actually over there on that desk. Render K, the one Squeers has for me, the original just plain clear anodized aluminum, and then number 3 would have been this original Ti2 pen, not Ti2 design, TechLiner. Ti2 pen with a very classic Hi-Tec-C. Yes, I have the clip reversed. They normally had it on this end, and this is DLC coated. The reason why you need to flip the clip around, in my opinion, is it does much better when it is stored tip up. And I have talked about how Hi-Tec-C and other gel inks do need airflow. Like, they need atmospheric pressure to advance the ink. If you look at the bottom here, there is a tiny little hole. That is actually where I got the idea to fix up some of my Keros ones, my Keros Render Ks, and drill, using a Dremel, a small hole in its butt. Let's just say, though, it's not always going to plan. Yeah, I broke that bit off in there. Turns out copper work hardens. I hadn't learned that yet. Yeah. Still not the best on that one on the brass. So, for example, it was one whole Keros cube till I got to my first second gen tactile turn bolt. Which one are you missing right there? Did I put something back wrong? Oh, dang. What did I do now? Trying to remember what's supposed to be right there. This is a good question. Oh, I know what's supposed to be right there. That is where the original TechLiner goes. So as you can see, I only have, by this point, the original EDK, the glider, and then even, this is even before my EDK Gen 2, my fluted red one, and then they went to the shorty TechLiner, was the original one that got me into Uniball. So I was just using these for years upon years upon years. That's what I'm saying, guys. If you pick up just one nice, like, pick up a modal, go and grab one of these guys. That's all you need. You're good. You know, if you end up liking it, maybe pick up another style one, like a bolt liner or a Ti2 tech liner. or something like that. And I just like having 2 pens on me, or at least accessible to me. Just because of if you run out of ink, if you need a different, like, and now mostly I run 0.3, 0.4, but often when I was in person, if you're writing notes to people, especially to older people, you want a bolder ink. That's where I'd use the Schmidt Capless of the EDK, and then I'd write notes with a 0.3 or 0.4 ink, like a Hi-Tec-C. So this one here, Paisley, and I had to get it because of Miss Paisley Marie right here. Yeah, Miss Paisley, are you trying to sleep? Yeah, am I keeping you awake? Oh, you're barely there. Yeah. So let me grab promotions, updates. Here you go. Showed this before. Checkered Paisley TechLiner pen. I think I captured some of this in my video. Let me know. But there you go. Checkering is technique in playing firearms, intricate patterns, improves safety, blah, blah, blah. Made in the USA. Part of their laser engraved series. I did not have one, so that's the other reason why I was willing to pick up the this guy, is I have none of his laser engraved series. All of mine, even the fairly intricate ones, like I showed you the brass one, have been milled. Shorty, grid milling for the grip, and let's see here. This has our FallOut TRD finish, black, bronze, gold tones. So I showed you the FallOut finish on my original one. Apparently this is the FallOut TRD finish. There you go. Titanium laser engraved, hand sanded with TRD finish. I mean, look at their images on it. I saw that iridescence going through, and I'm like, and then as Squeers said, it's Paisley. Yeah. Paisley Marie. How are you? You want to come here? Come here. Yeah, come here. Yeah. Oh, kitten, you got stuck in my... You guys are wondering where these come from. It's her getting her claws stuck. She paws me for attention, and then her claw gets stuck. Look at those things. You gonna let us cut those eventually? Maybe one day? You can't even get your paw on the ground. Can I touch the paw? What this paw? I see how it is. Yeah, you come in here. Yeah, you can sit by me. Just don't mess with my hoodie like last time, Paisley. Yep. Hard to see with, maybe if I turn off this light, this extra light here. My OT light, I got a new light bulb. But yeah, oh, it's really sharp. Like I said, it feels stupid light because it's the titanium one, and I am used to rocking like stainless or brass or something like that when it comes to his pens. But this finish on here was too gorgeous with the TRD, and the lasering process must contribute to that sort of iridescent. Because if you heat up titanium, you kind of get the blues, purples, oranges, yellow, like that sort of stuff on there. So the heat of that lasering, I have to imagine, has to be somewhat contributing to this finish here. And I don't know, I saw the photos of it, and like I said, I haven't had one. I don't have one from him with the FallOut TRD. Obviously, here's the standard FallOut. And then, I mean, it's named Paisley because it has Paisleys on it. Very unique finish. Like, this is one of those ones I'm going to be careful carrying, to be truthful. Like, a lot of his stuff gets that way, where it's like, it's so beautiful, you're like, oof, But, you know me, I will run it. squares well as well. He, like I said, he got that mirror finish one, and it's no longer mirror finished. I'm sure it could be polished out, but no longer mirror finish. The one downside here, and I kind of showed you that with the Ultim, is these are now G2. They're not even though they're called TechLiner, which is like originally he went with the 207 ink, so the light fast ink, so you could use it with rulers and not smear and that sort of stuff. Eventually, you know, Hawaii is part of America, and he slowly adapted it to the Pilot G2. And what ended up happening, because I was there for it, like I said, there was just kind of like a generic spacer in here originally. You might have seen it on the copper one that I put away, the black and copper. Let's see if we can find it on this old school FallOut one here. So in here you have the magnet, right? Then you have an O-ring that's basically a spacer, and that keeps this spacer down, right? And then that spacer is just a hole in the middle. Now, that wouldn't work for G2 because G2 has that step. Despite it being actually like a hair shorter, the dimensions of the tip, the differences there, are what the real kicker is. The metal on the Uniball is longer, which is why it makes it much more suited for this sort of TechLiner design where the tip sticks out, right? At least in my opinion. But the G2 has this step here. So what he did is he actually milled out the inside of this washer to actually be wider there and skinnier here. Also, it didn't need, because it actually slots in to the refill because it has that step. It doesn't need the O-ring in there at this point. Downside is Uniball doesn't work with it anymore. Now, I was there for the in-between. He actually had a spring in here. That was around right before while he was testing the bolt liner, which I was like, oh, with a spring in there, are you... Like, I understand it's making up room because the spring was big enough to go around the G2, and he was shipping them with G2s. All right, and you could buy it as like a G2 adapter kit. I'm like, oh, but are you testing bolt? Like a bolt action or a click action pen? Because why else would you have a spring? He's like, I might be. Let me give him some feedback on that. But now all of the TechLiners, because America, have switched to just using Pilot G2. And sadly, these are far less adaptable than the old ones, which you could put a G2 in with some finagling of the spacers. You basically have to have a G2 compatible ink, and not even like a Pilot Precise V5. That ain't gonna cut it. You need, like I said, this guy has a juice in it. I think this is also a satin Ultim. Like, this is a satin fluted Ultim. If you look at the original Ultim, it is not this sort of soft look to it. It's like the polished, I believe. You'd have to go back. I'm sure if this video isn't out yet, it will be eventually. I try to make videos on all this stuff for you guys. I have a cat possibly having a hairball on my lap. Paisley, are you doing all right? You are not doing all right. Can you not hairball on my lap? Please. She cleans herself a lot. I'm not surprised by this. No one should be surprised by this. But yeah, this I'm glad I could show you guys one of these. I had enough of these for quite a long time because I was part of that pen club. And then what I found out, like, because originally a lot of these, and the reason why I joined was because a lot of these really unique versions were only available part of the pen club. What he has found later on is that he will launch them as part of the pen club, but like these Ultim variants, both of mine were pen club pens, right? Like this guy right here. That was a Pen Club pen. Once that pen club for that month is done, if there's some left, you're able to buy them. So that's just the route I go for. I do not need a pen every time. I only want, if it catches my eye sort of thing. And like I said, it hadn't for a long time until he started doing them out of Ultim. Like I picked up a stainless steel, I think it went bolt liner, stainless steel TechLiner shorty, stainless steel bolt liner, and then I don't know, a year or two later, Ultim TechLiner, fluted satin Ultim TechLiner, and now what was it? It was 4 cubes worth or 5 cubes worth. After that, we finally pick up, and it does look like he has done some other ones in this lasered. I think some of them I kind of looked at, like, oh, that kind of looks cool. But this is the first one really that he's done in this line that has just like, caught my eye and been like, I gotta snag that one. I gotta snag that one. Super lightweight, super cool. This is actually really grippy. The iridescent part of it. Is like I said, check out those pictures on the website. Hopefully I did on some of the closer ups, I gave you guys a good feel of it. The one thing I will say is, even though it's metal, I am noticing, probably because of all the work that's been done with the engraving, like it is definitely thinner. Like the tube thickness overall is, and it looked a little bent to me. I don't know if it actually is. I don't think it is. Hard to tell with the kitten in my lap. No. I think what it is the tip. Oh, it actually might be. If so, very, very slightly. But that's part of the reason why it's so freaking light, is I think a lot of that material got pulled off with the and this is sharp enough, it's actually pulling some of my dead skin off. Got pulled off with the lasering. Making it very thin, like I said, this thing is stupid lightweight, like putting it on par with the Ultim. Ultim is definitely still lighter, but for a titanium version of this pen, this would, like I said, with how this finishes and how I know the like this FallOut is actually supposed to wear off and kind of like start looking worn in, kind of like FallOut the video game and that sort of stuff. I don't know if the FallOut TRD is the same or not. But this is a very, very pretty pen. If this is one you want to keep in this, I'm not saying don't use it. Definitely use it. Probably don't store it in your pocket with your stainless steel pen or your other titanium pen. Maybe give it a separate pocket or something. Make sure, with it being a little bit thinner on the walls because of all of the lasering and everything, because it's all along this entire body. Probably don't put it in a pocket. You'd sit on it. You know what I mean? Like that sort of stuff. Be a little bit more careful. If you want the pen that you can just huck around, not care, we've been over that before, get yourself a tumbled titanium or a stainless steel. Those are going to be indestructible. Like, like I've shown where some Cerakote on some is chipped off because I've actually used them and they've hit other things, or I've dropped them, or you kind of have to not care. This is one that I will carry and I will use, but it is freaking beautiful. And I will be a little bit more careful on how and where it goes, if that makes sense here. You know, even some of the Ultims you can be a little bit more careless with if like this has this finish on it. If it's one that doesn't have the finish, you know, something like this bad boy, this Hex modal, kind of do as you please. It will get some scratches on it because it's softer than metal. If you put this next to a metal pen or in your pocket with keys, it's obviously going to take some damage. But oh, and here you can see the difference between the standard modal and like the I don't want to say frosted satin, something like that. A little bit less clear. It's got its own vibe, you know. With the different colored internals, it definitely blends in more, if that makes sense. Basically, just get the refill color, and that's about it. So just something to keep in mind when you start going to some of his work with this. I believe it's Mike Bond starts getting into like artwork, if that makes sense. Versus you know, like product that you use, and they bridge the gap there. Some of these are, like I said, this was one of the ones that was like beautiful. And I finally picked one up, and I'm glad I did. I was on the fence. Then like I said, Squares saw it when we were popping open that Ultim, and he's like, "You're getting that, right?" I forget the comment. I think it's in the video, but check it out. And I did. I definitely put the money down and snagged it. So let me know what you guys think down below. Was it worth it? Would you, you know, if you haven't seen his stuff before, go and check it out. He's one of the OGs. You know, not too far after, you know, back when Pen Type A kind of started doing all the ones with the original non-click stick style Hi-Tec-C, and that was like the refill to use for everything. You know, he did one of the originals that I still have to this day that is still in immaculate condition, still quite unique in the fact that it holds the cap on. This is magnet. That was the other unique thing about the TechLiner. You know, when he went to this, is that it's retained with magnets. You might have seen it when I had the original Ti2 pen out. It was actually O-ring. And I went with those green O-rings on the black DLC. I don't know, that had a vibe for me. Had a vibe. I debated going with red because it would have matched I was rocking the Rot Ring 800 at the time. You know, the black with the red rings on that. But something about that green just popped out at me, and it's like, that's the one you gotta go with. And I went with the nickel plated tip on it too, just to offset the clip as well. But yeah, let me know down below what you think. And he does some gorgeous work. Like I said, this is far more than I've seen on some of his stuff. Personally, like I saw when these started coming out with the laser, and I just didn't. There wasn't one that I like really liked the finish on. Not that they were bad finishes. They were like, they have a Salt Girl one. That was one that caught my eye previously, and that's probably from a year or more ago. But this was the one with this FallOut TRD. You know, obviously it's Paisley, and this sort of iridescent blue, bronze, black finish. Gorgeous, if you ask me. So, I'm gonna adjust this clip a little bit to be. There's a spot right there where like more of the flowers show. You know, like this is kind of like the dead spot in the design. So I'm gonna put the clip there, just so I cover up less of the finish, or not finish, the design. There we go. Super simple. There you go. See, let's do a zoom on in here. There, see, I kind of got it on the back side where the design wraps around, so you can see more of the flowers and stuff like that. But I'm gonna go and find a juice refill, since I don't regularly use those really unless I have to, like in this case. You have to have one with the steps. So even like a juice up wouldn't work. Also, that's got a plastic tip. It would bend. A V5 has a plastic tip. These really do rely on having that that metal tip. That was kind of it kind of sticks out like that. Very much so. In the original TechLiner, you can see that actually sticks out quite a bit more. So that sort of stuff's been re-engineered as he switched from the Uniball Euro 110 ink to the Pilot G2, which all American brands seem to eventually go back to. It's the most average ink, guys. It's fine. I understand it's like, oh, that's the best ink ever. You branch out. If you need some examples, they're down in the description. My recommendation, if you don't want to buy a whole pack of them, is to go to Jet Pens and pick up whatever size you like, or you know what I mean, like, or a couple different sizes of the same ink. But like that's what I did when I got this guy. I picked up every size, or everything that was in 0.4 or 0.38 of Euro 110 compatible gel refills. Like, it was like, I don't know, 8 different ones. I then narrowed it down to 4. I ordered those same 4 in 0.28 or 0.3 if they were available. Wasn't vibing because I used to do 0.3 on the Hi-Tec-C, but I don't know, I got more into the 0.4. The 0.35 rot ring, oof, that's perfect for me, actually. But the 0.38 or 0.4 are about as close as I can go. The 0.3 goes a little too small. Squares prefers that if he goes precise. I tried those, wasn't a fan, but I got down to the 4 I liked. Then I tried those same 4 back in 0.8 and 0.4. So it was like the 307 and 207 Uniball, Energel, and possibly the Jelly Roll. I'm trying to remember. The Sakura Jelly Roll ones. In 0.38, 0.4 in blue black. That did help me get to which ink I liked, and I'm not a huge fan of Energel. You saw it in the other one. I ran it down, but I don't know. I'd rather have like a Hi-Tec-C needle pointer, like the new Juice Up, much nicer. But it just because you can get a singular refill from anywhere from like $1 to a couple dollars. You can try out all these different ones. Pick up your pen, and that's kind of why I recommend one that's at least Euro 110 compatible or adaptable to it. As you can try out way more refills, and most of those also can then fit the G2. Whereas stuff like this, where natively it used to, but with how that part is milled in there, you cannot use the Uniballs anymore without, like, finding that O-ring and a bunch of other stuff that you're gonna need. There's also a spacer on the back side, because if you put this clip on, there's a little washer that goes in there that spaces that out. I don't know if that is or isn't needed. If we go TechLiner accessories, let's see if we can buy one still. TechLiner Shorty, Super Shorty. Okay, they do still have the Jetstream refill kit. So the Jetstream refill kit, it's $12 for the adapter to use Uniball. Still in here, because there's like a different magnet that goes in the back and a whole bunch of stuff. If this is your only pen, like, say that you pick this one up or one of these up or something like that, and it's your only pen, probably worth it, because it's still cheaper than buying a whole nother pen. I would probably have at least one of those kits, especially because I have multiple Ti2 pens, and I do. I even have the in-between, because before he went to these milled ones that were G2 compatible, he had just a spring in there. I have a couple of those kits. I have one in a pen and an extra one around here, just because I like to be able to use whatever refills I want and stuff. Otherwise, my recommendation, probably not the Ultim modal. Those are a bit more pricey, but grab yourself an on sale unless you see a colorway that you really like, you know, like this is what, Morning Fog or something like that, with the Ultim here instead of the Delrin. You probably saw my original OD Green. That one was, you know, pretty beautiful. Like I said, I think the modal is a great starter pen. It may actually make some of these other ones, like it's really optimized. They've gone through a lot to get here. You may look at some of like the big idea design stuff and be like, wow, that's you know, like this is a better pen. Like I already have a better pen. That's where, like I said, you could go for something like this, and then, you know, something like this guy, and they're different enough. You know, this is magnet capped, you know, rather than the bolt liner, which would be very similar to this. This is more of a, you know, you could put different types of refills in each one depending. You know, like in here you'd want something, you could put like a more blunt one, I think, whereas this would be something I'd want a more precise one in. And this will take a G2, you know, ships with one, but we'll take TechLiners or Uniball, you know, Euro 110, no problem. You almost don't have to shave any off, almost. Whereas, you know, you pick up yourself one of the Ti2 design TechLiners. If you haven't, or unless you don't like any of the Uniball Euro 110 refills, which I'd be surprised at, because they have, you know, oil-based, water-based, UV curing, cellulose, like literally go on Jet Pens and look at all the different qualifiers. There are so many. Or you can even start going into with the Euro 110s. That's where they say Jetstream compatible refill. That is, the Jetstream is actually a ballpoint. It's one of the best ballpoints. So if you really need ballpoints for writing on receipt paper, you know, check that out. As well, I'm not a big ballpoint person. You know, squares for certain things. Squares buy them. I am not in that, whatever you want to call it, that group of people. I would ideally, the only time I use a ballpoint is when I'm using carbon copy paper, and you kind of have to. You know, like people are like, carbon copy paper. Yeah, have you ever done on the receipt where you got you're filling out the check, and it's got another copy behind it? That's carbon copy. Or have you ever figured out the paperwork that's like tears on top, where it's got the normal one, the yellow one, the pink one, the blue one? That's carbon copy paper. For those to work, basically, you need a classic like Bic stick or Bic crystal ballpoint pen. Jotter would also work, for that stuff to work properly, because it goes off of friction. And often when you're writing with gel, that is why I prefer having a heavier pen and having to write lighter, because I don't press hard, if that makes sense. I would rather glide on the gel and on the roller than push into it. Everybody's different. They have their different preferences. That is also why, though, I keep a space pen in the car, because if for some reason you do need to sign something, or fill out a check out of nowhere or whatever, that is the pen that is going to do it every time, and you won't have any problem filling out anything with it because of how it's designed. So, questions, comments, throw them down below. Which of the pens that you saw today would you get? Was the Paisley Ti2 design TechLiner, FallOut TRD, like, would you have snatched it up like I did? Do you think it was worth it? It is sure a gorgeous pen. I'll leave you with this.